You know, the other day there was a report, or we talked on the show the other day about the fact that Spider-Man Brand New Day dropped a new trailer, its first trailer. And it did not just break a record. All right. It didn't just break a record. It became, it's hard to put into words just exactly how big of a deal this was, because whereas records, they usually will break by increments. I call most of the time, especially when it comes to the movie business, records are done in increments. Like records get broken incrementally. So for example, when Spider-Man No Way Home teaser was the number one trailer viewed ever at 355 million views in the first 24 hours, Deadpool and Wolverine broke that record by 10 million. Avengers Endgame's record was broken by about 66 million. So incrementally. But the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer came out, 718.6 million views in the first 24 hours. It beat it by well over 350 million views. And I said on this show yesterday that I believe what we saw was history. I believe, and you may agree with me, you may not, but I believe that what we saw was history in the sense that we will never, ever again, never again will we ever see the most views of a trailer record broken by 95%. It's never going to happen again. This is it. This is it. Like, yeah, Doomsday's trailer may come out and it may get 800 million views in the first 24 hours and break the record. But what you're not going to see is the Doomsday trailer come out and double the Spider-Man views. That's not going to happen. That will never, ever, ever happen again. And so I was really trying to drive that point home yesterday because I think what we were actually seeing was some history. We were seeing history being made. So a question came up with somebody I was having this conversation in the live chat with yesterday. And then a bunch of people wrote in about this today too. So it must be a topic of conversation around the web as a whole. But Rob, the question became this: could Marvel be producing not one, but two $2 billion films this year? Now, statistically on paper, Spider-Man Brand New Day is a Sony movie, but Marvel is producing it.
Sure.
Could Marvel have $2 billion films this year? By the way, let me somebody in the live chat just put this in. I've seen this. I'd look at clicks over views. Views can be misleading. I'm not saying there's no truth to that, but then that applies to every trailer. That applies to every trailer. Like that's a caveat, but that you'd have to give to every trailer. So anyway, I wouldn't be questioning the veracity of those numbers at this point because they are vetted. But anyway, that aside, because Rob, there is a point probably about 6-7 months ago that I believed 100% that both Spider-Man Brand New Day and Avengers Doomsday were both going to be billion-dollar films. No question. They're going to be huge. They're going to be monumental. But given certain circumstances, because, at the time I was saying Marvel's momentum isn't all that great right now. The overall box office is down. I don't think either of those will be $2 billion films. Well, since then, Thunderbolts came out, Fantastic Four came out, Wonder Man came out. Momentum is back. We talked about that ad nauseum yesterday. The momentum for Marvel is kind of back. And you saw that with the insane view numbers on the Spider-Man trailer. And after seeing this record broken and seeing the direction things are going, Rob, I think I have to, and I alluded to this yesterday, I think I'm going to have to change my position on this from a year ago. I actually really do think there's a chance. Now, would I guarantee it? And would I bet $50 on it? No. But a year ago, I would not have said that Spider-Man and Avengers Doomsday had a chance of both being $2 billion films. Didn't have a chance. Today, I think there's a chance we could be getting to the end of the year and seeing that Marvel had $2 billion films in the same year. And again, I just didn't foresee, Rob, Marvel turning the momentum, especially after Captain America 4. After Captain America, what was it called? Was it Brave New World? What was the name of Captain America 4? I'm such a forgettable movie. I can't even remember the title.
Brave New World.
Brave New World. Especially coming out of Captain America Brave New World, which I had a lot of high hopes for because I love Anthony Mackie, and I was really hoping that would be good, and it was such a disappointment. And I never really would have thought that Marvel was going to get its momentum back with like Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, and things. But here we are. The momentum is back. The overall energy level, Rob, the enthusiasm of the fan base seems to be a lot more elevated right now than it was like 10 months ago. And now we see this thing with the trailer, and my God, how big, I asked this yesterday too, how big is that Avengers Doomsday trailer going to be? I mean, it's almost ridiculous. So Rob, I'm now sitting here saying, I'm not willing to put money on it, and I'm certainly not saying it's a lock, but I've gone from saying it's impossible a year ago that Spider-Man and Avengers Doomsday would both be $2 billion films. Today, I'm saying it's possible. I think one of them will be, and it's possible that they both can be. We want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Factor. Hey guys, you know how it is. Between the daily live show, tracking the latest box office numbers, and planning our next movie meetup in the van, my schedule gets absolutely hectic. Now, somewhere between the first warm weekend and realizing short season is getting close, eating well stops just being optional. Factor is how we stop letting a busy schedule be our excuse. They provide fully prepared meals designed by dietitians and crafted by chefs. I had their smoky Gouda mac and shredded beef after a long editing session last week on that Spider-Man Rights video I did, and it was amazing. So whether you're looking for calorie smart options or the new Muscle Pro collection, which is perfect if you're getting back into a workout routine, they have 100 rotating weekly meals to keep things fresh. And the best part? They are always fresh, never frozen, and ready in just 2 minutes with zero prep and zero stress. I love it, and I think you will too. So head over to factormeals.com/Campea50off and use the code Campea50off to get 50% off and free breakfast for a year. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Make healthier eating easy with Factor. Anyway, Rob, you're purveying this whole situation. What do you think?
I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility at all. I mean, both of the last Avengers movies, well, I think Spider-Man No Way Home almost grossed $2 billion. And the last two Avengers movies, well, at least Endgame, grossed almost $3 billion. So I think just by playing that numbers game, you absolutely might see $2 billion movies. And I guarantee you, if Spider-Man makes $2 billion, Doomsday is going to make a lot more because it's just going to feed into the hysteria. So, and I'm good for them. I would love to see both movies that successful theatrically. I mean, I always want film companies to do well and have their movies succeed. And I've loved the MCU for so long. I mean, I'd love to see it fire on all cylinders again and realize, like, just revisiting, I've talked about revisiting Civil War again, and you revisit that and it's like, wow, that's a good movie for what it is, or just in general, it's just a great movie. The way it deals with its characters and everybody. I love that film, and I would love to feel that way about both Spider-Man and the new Avengers movies, because I've loved all 4 Avengers films. What's not to love? I hope it's great.
Look, we should also mention here, though, that this can go south really fast, because all this speculation and all this optimism, it goes right out the window if Spider-Man sucks. Now, am I expecting Spider-Man Brand New Day to suck? Absolutely not. They got a terrific director. I love the trailer. I'm expecting really good things from it. But there have always been movies that I was expecting really good things from. Craven. That I was expecting good things from that turned out to be absolute garbage. I mean, so like, it's fine for me right now, Rob, to say I see a world where both Spider-Man and Avengers Doomsday can make $2 billion. But that completely gets flushed down the toilet if we come out of Spider-Man Brand New Day and going,
Yeah, of course.
That changes the whole, because not only will that change Spider-Man's overall box office potential, it'll dampen the mood. I mean, listen, Doomsday is going to be a big hit no matter what. But if we come out of Spider-Man Brand New Day going, that will also dampen the mood a bit for Doomsday. Not enough to not make it a hit, but maybe not enough to make it $2 billion. I don't know. How do you see this thing swinging? Get it? I said swinging.
Well, I mean,
it's clever.
Look, everything is dependent on the quality of the actual product.
Yeah.
If the product is good, people will go. And, it looks like they've actually delved into some really interesting Spider-Man comics to come up with and animation to come up with this series. So in a way, they're giving people some familiarity with this as well, if you followed those things. And I think they've made the smart play, and they're not trying to outdo what they did with No Way Home. They've brought the story back, and they've made it Peter Parker centric. And who is Peter Parker? Who is Spider-Man? Redefining the character as he moves forward into his 20s. I think it's a really smart move what they've done. And if you and I both love Shang-Chi, I think they have the great director to do that. And I'm really looking forward to it. As a matter of fact, I think this Spider-Man movie, depending on how it's handled, might be more resonant with people that have loved the MCU because they've gotten older as well. So, if you started watching the MCU when you were a little kid, by the time you get to this Spider-Man movie, it might have a lot to say about your life now. And that extra added resonance can maybe push the film even further up the box office charts if it's good.
But by the way, as a little side note, I didn't mention this yesterday and I should have. When you look at that 718 million views, I think that is a real testament to how much the public loved John Watts' Spider-Man films. Because if the 3 Spider-Man films that John Watts made weren't beloved, you wouldn't see 700 plus million people desperately waiting to see the next chapter of it. So I actually think that's a really nice tip of the cap and a testament to just how good of a job director John Watts did with those first 3 Spider-Man movies. The fact that it's got everybody so excited for this new one too. Anyway, guys,
100%.
Question is for you. What do you think about this? Do you think it is possible that we could see Spider-Man Brand New Day and Avengers Doomsday, 2 Marvel-produced films in the same year, both make over $2 billion? It seemed like a wild thought about a year ago, but today, maybe not so much. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show Podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.